I mean, thank you so much, Brian. I not only am incredibly honored, grateful, overwhelmed, all the things, not only about receiving the Lift Where You Live award, which is what I'm talking about today, but also just being invited to be in this room, in this space with all of our amazing humans and in my UK Tranont family. So truly, I have learned that it doesn't take long when you're in a room with like-minded people to just become inspired. So thank you, Brian, for allowing me to spend some time with you, and thank you, UK family. So Brian asked me to share a little bit about Lift Where You Live, and so I will just share about my experience with this initiative. The shift that kind of happened in my mindset a couple of years ago. And I will share just a few examples of what I personally have done. And who knows, but maybe after hearing this information, it will inspire you as you go out and lift where you live as well. So I personally feel like this award just means more to me than a trophy or flowers or being on stage, although all of that was and is actually incredibly amazing. But for me personally, it was a recognition of a specific commitment that I made to be more intentional to make an impact in my community. And really, I guess to boil it down is to live a continued legacy kind of life. And I want to say more about that as well. But first, just to give you a little bit of history about me personally, I have been in the health space for a number of years as a certified health coach. And I've been involved with network marketing for the last 8 years now, in the last 2 years with Tranont. In fact, I'm coming up on my 2nd year anniversary at the end of April. So prior to that, I had a full-time, very traditional corporate career, primarily in business operations and communications for over 20 years. So I was raised by my parents, and I shared this from the stage a couple of weeks ago. I was raised to love God first and to love and serve people second. And honestly, somewhere along the way, between age 18 when I left the house up until now at age 48, I had become very busy, as we all do, you know, with a lot of great things, my life, my family, my work, my church, all those very good things. But I had unintentionally become disconnected from my community and really even failing to think about or recognize opportunities to make an impact in my community. So when I attended my first Tranont convention in July of 2021, I learned about this third pillar of Tranont, right? We've got health, we have wealth, and then we have community, and the Lift Where You Live initiative. And I watched as an associate was given this special award. And I literally remember where I was standing in that auditorium and saying to myself, I really want to be nominated to get that award someday. I literally said that. But to me, it wasn't because I wanted someone to look at me. It's because it would be a very special honor to be nominated, and it would mean that I would be making a personal impact in the world and living with that legacy mindset. So I just made a decision that year that at that convention, that at a minimum, I would volunteer once a month at my local food donation and distribution center called Harvesters. And I'm going to give you kind of a snapshot of what that looks like as I give you a little bit of a peek into Lift Where You Live and my experience. And so this particular picture was me on stage, which I'm just very grateful for, in the award. And I can always ask questions or answer questions about it. But this decision was my baseline. I got a baseline once a month. I was going to sign up on my calendar very intentionally, and I do have it on my calendar once a month to volunteer. Sometimes I have 1 or 2 local team members that go with me, but most of the time I just go solo. And so our local distribution center also takes donations, and it serves 26 counties in Kansas City and Missouri, and Kansas and Missouri in the states of Kansas and Missouri surrounding the Kansas City metropolitan area. That was a lot because Kansas City actually borders on those 2 states. So I have done everything there from sorting literally thousands of pounds of produce, potatoes, onions, that sort of thing, to packing backpacks for our food insecure kids. They have food on the weekends. Measuring out and weighing bags of sugar was one activity. I've sorted canned goods and frozen goods and donations and breaking down our building boxes. So any number of activities, that is at a minimum what I do. And so I decided that that is what is going to be my baseline. But also what we focus on grows. And I think that's applicable in all areas of life, right? Our mindset, our business, but also as my mind began focusing more on volunteering intentionally, I would then see additional opportunities to volunteer locally. And another example was one of the gals on my level 2. We'll see if it can flip to this slide. Here we go. Level 2, actually, this picture, I'm sorry, was about volunteering for a local fundraiser. A dear friend of mine actually lost her 15-year-old daughter just days short of turning 16 in a horrific automobile accident. And my friend started a foundation specific to seatbelt awareness and initiatives around that, and then also organ donation awareness. So again, my mind was just attuned to volunteering, and I was able to volunteer for this fundraiser. Another example was that one of the gals in my level 2 team member, she owns and operates a men's sober living home in the area. And so last December, I organized an opportunity for my team. If they wanted to, they could donate some money and in whatever amount, and I purchased Christmas gifts for these 5 men who were living in the home at the time. And 2 team members helped me wrap the gifts, and then we delivered them and spent just some time talking with the men and encouraging their journeys into sober living. So again, it's having an impact on what could potentially be a forgotten population, you know, those in recovery, especially at a time of year when they may be feeling alone in their process. Not pictured here is when I took boxed lunches to a local firehouse and spent some time with the fire department chief, just, you know, praying safety over the house and the firefighters that were working that day, a simple thing that can be done. Those are just a few examples that were local opportunities that came up along the way the last few months. But also for a few years, I have participated in a national organization that mobilizes gift boxes. You can see the picture there to deliver internationally through Operation Christmas Child. So whether it's a local opportunity or whether it's something that has a broader reach, I think there's always opportunities if we are being intentional to look for them. And in just a couple of weeks, I'll be partnering with another organization. Heart to Heart International is what it's called. And that packages that we're going to be packaging hygiene kits to be delivered to the Ukraine throughout that organization. So I just started also just posting more on social media about the things that I did, not to say, look at me, look at what I did, but my hope, my true hope was to inspire others to do their part in their community as well. And maybe I did, or maybe I didn't inspire anyone along the way, but what I do know is that I kept my word to myself and made volunteering in my community an intention. But also when I think about living a legacy life, I mentioned that at the very beginning, living a legacy life and living the legacy that my dad has given me. Not only is it very faith driven, but also my dad's career was construction. So I joke about the fact that construction is in my DNA because of that, I personally have this passion for going on mission trips to build homes. So my focus is also in international Lift Where You Live, specifically in partnership with an organization in Managua, Nicaragua, to build homes for people who have none. Like literally providing for a basic human desire for safety and shelter. I was there in October of last year, again in February, just a few weeks ago, right before convention, and I will be going to another village in June, in just a couple of months. So I guess my point is you don't have to travel internationally to make a difference, right? You just have to look out your front door and find things of interest to you to make an impact and to be intentional about looking for opportunities. I think it was even mentioned in the stage. It's funny, I couldn't hear everything that was mentioned, but it was mentioned that I was even something about a child that was in my neighborhood, and I actually stopped what I was doing. I was super, super busy running to and fro all the errands, and I noticed a little girl had a lemonade stand a few houses down, and I could have just got my groceries, gone into the house, and gone in with my day, but I took the opportunity to walk down, knelt down, had a conversation with her, and bought not one but two lemonades. So making a difference, I think it's whatever that looks like in your life in making a difference. And I don't share those things to impress you, but what I do share those things for is to impress upon you that individually we can't do it all to change the world, but individually we can all do our part to change lives, to change communities, to change countries even, and ultimately to change the world and align ourselves with this goal of impacting 1 billion lives for good. I love that mission. It resonates with me. And I suspect that as you have joined with this company, that also resonates with you. And I shared this from the stage that this award actually means so much more to me this year because my dad modeled service to me, even to the point of actually making personal sacrifice for other people. He just lived service. And just 1 year ago, on February 14, 2022, I started what I believe was the single most important lift where you live activity in my life. And that's that I went home to take care of my dad for 17 days until he met Jesus face-to-face on March 2, 2022. So that to me was my single most important lift where you live, which was in my own parents' home. So here's what I guess I want to leave with you today is that things like volunteering or making a community impact, those things don't happen by accident. At least they didn't for me. They happen by intention. And in this shared mission to change lives in health and in wealth and in community, I just hope that I've been able to inspire you just as I was inspired in 2021 at my first Tranont event to kind of make this shift in my mindset to be intentional about making an impact beyond myself, beyond my four walls, friends, family, that sort of thing. So one of my favorite quotes is when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. I don't even know who said that quote, but I've had that memorized for years because I really believe it to be true. Even in this case, I changed the way I looked at community impact and the involvement that I personally could have. And what I found is that living a life that includes intentional service to others really does create a fuller and richer life, even though there's no monetary value attached to that. So my hope is that you will look at community or lift where you live, even just a little bit differently than maybe you did previously. You know, it was a huge honor not only to receive this year's award, but to even be nominated among the other selected amazing individuals in their efforts. Honestly, there are so many people that do so many things that my efforts dwarf in comparison, but then to be able to share this experience with all of you here. I don't know about you, but I personally found Tranont at a time when I was desperate for change in my life. And isn't that just ironic that Tranont literally means change life? I don't know. With that, I guess, Brian, I will finish. You know, we have this one life on this earth. So together, us, all of us, let's make an impact whenever and wherever we have the opportunity, you know, health, wealth, and community, and work together, even across the pond, to do our part to impact 1 billion lives for good. And with that, Brian, I guess that's all I have to share today.
All right. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us. I really appreciate it. And just to let everybody know, I will post this recording on the chat that we have on WhatsApp. And Wendy, thank you again. You were such an inspiration. And again, everything you said is just perfect for what Tranont is all about. And I love that part of our company. And it's one of our pillars. And that is really that's what first attracted me to Tranont. And I think you're a wonderful, beautiful example of that. And just thank you for spending your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Have a good day. We'll see you later.
All right.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye.